Please accept the recording. Give me one moment, team. I'm not going to mute you all yet. So if you feel that, you've got some sound in the background that might disrupt people, feel free to mute yourselves. Otherwise, I will hear you. Welcome to Yoga for Balance and Bones. Steph, did you want me to go ahead and mute you? I heard you talking. There we go. I did it for you just in case. Okay, team, welcome to Yoga for Balance and Bones. As I mentioned before we started our recording, you're gonna always need a chair for class, a long resistance band, so not tied in any fashion. And then again, is that Karen? And then again, 2 blankets. I'll tell you how to hold them shortly because we are gonna start right off the get-go, lying down. But before we get started, I just want to talk about 2 movements of the spine. And because today's class is focusing on Locust Pose or Salabhasana, which is a prone pose on your belly that focuses on extension by engaging muscles of the upper back and the core and the glutes, kind of like a full body exercise. Inherently, people find it challenging because, as my friend Karen from Pilates Unlimited, Karen Sanzo, I don't know if anybody you know of her. She's very talented and educated individual in the movement world. She talks about prone poses being inherently an extension-based pose, right? Like an extension force. So we know that extension is this movement of the body. Right? So we can see how our chest is lifted, maybe my belly and my hips are pushing forward. And then you add gravity to that by lifting our head, chest, and legs. And that force, that extension force can sometimes, if we're not strong enough in our glutes and in our core and our upper back, be bothersome in the low back. Right? So extension is a good movement to do, but we also need to practice those little minute exercises that lead up to extension exercises so that we're not dumping in the low back. And that's what today's class is all about. So we want to mitigate forward flexion in our exercise class or in our movement classes. And we also want to work on that posture in everyday life to minimize our risk of falling, which can happen if we're in this forward flexion position as we walk. Okay, so let's just take a moment before we get started to come to standing with our feet underneath our hips and all 10 toes facing forward. Hi, Karen, you look fine. It's all good. I know you see something that's not working, but I can see you right now. So we're coming down to the ground shortly. So give me 1 second. So all 10 toes facing forward, place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. And then again, get really tall. So think of lengthening through the crown of the head and feeling your feet connected directly into your mat. So all 10 toes and all 3 corners. And then softly close your eyes or gaze downcast. And we're just going to take a few breaths, feeling that breath underneath our palms. Feeling the movement that might be underneath our palms with that full expansion of the breath. And with our hands as reference, we can feel how our chest might be more inclined to lift first, which can bring us naturally into extension. But I want you to focus on taking that breath into your lower hand. So really focus on getting that breath all the way down into the belly, so that there is, in fact, movement underneath that bottom hand. So as we inhale, the hand feels more of the belly, or rather the belly expands into the hand. And then as we exhale, the belly softens, maybe further away from the hand towards back body. So take a couple more breaths. And this is a natural movement that we want to occur in everyday life, this expansion and contraction of our body through that physical act of breathing. And besides the physical things that are happening in the body, think about what could be happening, or maybe you sense and feel with this full expansion, inhaling and exhaling, anything that's happening in our thought process. We'll take 1 or 2 more breaths here together, team. And before you open your eyes, just release your hands by your side and take a moment to thank yourself for making time, carving that time out in your busy schedule to move your body with intention. And then when you're ready, we'll open our eyes and let's get started. So as I mentioned, you'll need 2 folded blankets. I want to show you how I folded mine today in such a fashion that when I lie on my belly, my shoulders and my pelvis are covered. Do you see that? Now, this one blanket isn't sufficient for what I want today. So once you folded up the first blanket in such a fashion, you're going to get another blanket and potentially another. I don't know. So take a moment. Yeah, that's perfect, Karen. So see if you have another blanket like that. And if you don't, consider grabbing a pillow from your bed, right? One that you would sleep on, because I would say that it's probably about this size, a standard pillow. Right, from shoulder to pelvis. And I'm going to give you a few moments to get that settled while I show you what's going to be happening. Again, sometimes people have difficulty lying on your belly. So right away, I want to eliminate the difficulty of lying on your belly, which can happen if you have a low back issues or past compression fractures of the lumbar spine. So I really want you to focus on supporting yourself. So the higher the height, the less pressure, the less spinal extension you will get, and the more comfortable it will be for you. And if you've got your blanket, come and chill out with me. Okay, and again, we're gonna sit right beside the end of the blanket. You can see I'm not sitting on it currently. Slide my arm away. And then transition onto my torso. So the front of my torso, the front of my trunk is elevated from the ground. And while we're waiting for everybody to get organized, if you will, you can stack your palms. You can sway your legs a little side to side, or your heels rather, and you can just relax. And don't worry about it being perfect. Just do the best you can with the props that you have available. That's perfect, Susan. That's great, Karen. Good. So you can feel that your legs are kind of falling off of the blanket, right? So there's a bit of a crease in your hip. And if you don't have your hands stacked under your forehead, you'll notice your forehead lower than the blanket, which then brings us into flexion, but not of the spine. Right? The neck is in flexion, the hips are slightly flexed in this position. So we're taking that inherent extension force out of the equation by supporting our trunk off of the floor. And that's going to make the start of this practice more accessible to us. So with your hands, once you get there, stacked underneath your forehead, I want you to place your mind's eye in your abdomen that we were breathing into in our standing upright position with our legs straight when we were standing. And as you inhale, you're going to feel your abdomen expand into the blanket underneath you. And as you exhale, the blanket, the tummy will get lighter, moving away from the blanket. So that's the only thing I want you to work on. Your glutes are relaxed right now. Just focus on your abdomen. Taking nice, full, deep breaths into the low belly. Relax your shoulders. How's that, Karen? Better for your belly? Okay, maybe more height for you is required. So that's, if it's uncomfortable, we want more height, yeah? So support yourself so that we're not uncomfortable. So take 2 more breaths, really just placing your mind's eye in your belly. And try to really exaggerate maybe that inhale so the belly expands. And then naturally exhale, feeling the belly soften. But what does this have to do with our upper back today? It'll have a lot, trust me, it'll all tie together in the end, somehow, some way. So we're gonna keep our legs relaxed right now. Hopefully you have enough support that there's no pressure on your low back. And then we're going to move our arms out of the way, resting our forehead down. That'll bring your neck into a little tiny bit of flexion. Okay, so you can see it's kind of weird. If you have glasses, you might want to take them off, but not before you have a look and see what's happening here. My nose is kind of getting crunched up. My forehead is on the ground. Focusing on breathing into the low belly. And now, before we do anything, can I ask you to do one more thing? So we're going to layer the breathing, feeling that expansiveness and the contraction on the exhale. We're going to exhale and press our pubic bone down into the blanket. So by pressing your pubic bone down, you're basically kind of squeezing your butt, right? But with a purpose, not just squeezing it randomly. We're going to push the front of our pubis down. As we exhale, the belly pulls in and then release it all. So as you exhale, as you inhale rather, the belly's going to relax. The glutes are not going to do anything. So inhale, exhale, belly pulls in, pubis presses. Inhale, belly relax, pubis lifts. Do that a couple of times until you start to feel that pattern that you're trying to program into your body. Karen, you can keep your knees bent, crossing your ankles in the air. That might help too. Otherwise, you're taking it to the wall, forehead to the wall. There you go. Yeah, nice, Deb. I can see how you lengthen through the low back as you press your pubis bone down. Good. We're going to layer on. Okay, so now inhale fully. As you exhale, you're going to feel the belly contract, the pubis get heavy. You're going to lift the base of your skull, lift your forehead up off of the mat so the back of your neck is nice and long. Crown of your head is lengthening away from the end of your mat. And inhale, lower the head, relax the belly, relax the pubis. So again, take a big breath in. Exhale, belly moves in and up, pubis gets heavy, head hovers off the floor, and hopefully with that, you can start to feel how your upper back muscles are starting to wake up. Inhale, lower it back down. So do that 2 or 3 more times. Big breath in, exhale, belly, pubis, head. Inhale, lower head, relax belly, release pubis. 2 more times in your own breath in your own time. Your arms can be nice and wide, team. I find it nice and relaxing to have the arms in like a W position, right? Kind of like, yeah, that's it. Good. You're already naturally there, most of you. Good. So the only thing I want you to feel in terms of the posterior chain is the upper back, not the lower back. Okay. So if you're starting to feel the lower back, I want you to not hover head quite as much. Keep that chin tucked in, Deborah. Same with you, Susan. That's it. And then lower. If you're starting to feel low back issues, more height and or we're taking it to a wall in this fashion, right? Perfect. Now, give yourself a break from being on your belly. Can we push ourselves up off of the floor and sit back in an extended child's pose with your arms framing the outer edges of your blanket and your tailbone lengthening away from the crown of your head. So slowly starting to put input into those upper back muscles, working at strengthening the posterior chain. Very good. Nice, Nancy. Beautiful, JoJo. Good, and then when you feel ready, transition back onto your belly. This time, we've done this before, we're just approaching it differently. We're gonna stack our palms underneath our forehead. I don't care which hand goes first. Can you see that, Susan? Just stack palms flat open. Yeah, elbows wide so that you feel like you're relaxing in the sun. Or put a feet, I don't know, somewhere exotic. We asked Karen about exotic places. I've never been to Europe, so that just came to my head. Here we go. Now, the hand that is touching your forehead is going to get involved in this next process. We're going to do all the exact same thing. Start with a relaxed butt. You can even wiggle it. Relaxed breath. And then again, big breath in. As you exhale, tummy, pubic bone gets heavy. Hand glued to your forehead is going to come with you as you hover your head off of the ground. Think of lengthening the crown of the head away from the tailbone and slowly inhale, come back down. Same hand stays there. Take a big breath in on a diagonal. I'll show it a little differently. My legs are doing nothing. Press, lift, hover. So we're adding load, thereby transferring that information into those back muscles that they have to work a little bit harder. So just one hand lifts at a time. Perfect. And then lower back down. Gorgeous, Karen. Nice, Maureen. And now, can you just switch which hand is on top? Just to be fair, remember, we don't prioritize favorites in the armed world, just like our children. All lovely, or pets. Here we go. Again, change hands. Belly pulls in, pubic bone gets heavy. Back of the neck, head, arm. Keep that arm glued to your forehead, Susan. And lower back down. Yeah, you want to keep that forehead connected to that hand. Good, Linda. So it's not about how high you go. I want you to keep lengthening. Yeah. Slow and controlled. So now instead of working on extension, we're really just trying to bring our body into a neutral position. But do you see how hard that is when you have extra gravitational forces? Good. Perfect. And then again, lower back down, push your hips back. You're going to reach over and find your resistance band, which you're going to use shortly. But before you do, have a look of how it's going to be placed, but I will be on my back. So you can see my palms are going to ideally face the ceiling. Thumbs are going to face the body from this angle. Palms to the sky, thumbs to the body. Yeah. But I'm not just holding it, right, team? I want to pull out slightly. Pull out. So pull left to right, east to west. That's it, Linda. Good. Perfect. Oh, Maureen's got assistance today. I love it. All right, and make your way back there. Back onto your belly. You can rest it. Yep, that's perfect. Rest it on your back for a moment while everybody gets to where they gotta go. Legs are still quiet. Knees are resting on the ground. Forehead on the ground. So head is not going to do anything, just the arms for the first 5 repetitions. You're going to start with the hands lifting off the body with the resistance band in both hands, pulling out towards your pinky, but I want you to think about reaching your knuckles towards your feet. And then lower that back down. So the head's going to stay out of it at first. Let the shoulders relax. Roll the shoulders up and back like you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. Lift your hands off of your body and pull outwards. And then back down and rest and release. So each time, let the shoulders roll forward. Yeah, let them relax. Start with the shoulders rolling up towards the sky. That's it. And reaching, reaching, reaching. Oh, yes. Pull out slightly, gently. Yeah. Good. And lower. And one more time for you. Remember, we're still thinking of the breath, the tummy, the pubic bone, right? We don't want to feel any crunchiness in the low back. Good. Perfect. Now we're going to start with the same thing. We're going to lift that band off of our body, pulling outwards, reaching long, and then let the head float up second. So the head and the arms don't go simultaneously. Arms first, then the head floats, keeping that length in the back of your neck. Point your toes for me, Jojo, instead of keeping them curled under. Yes, so that your knees are resting comfortably. Good. That's it. Now make sure that chin stays tucked in, Linda. Good, and down. Each time you rest that band on your body and you let those shoulders relax. Good, let's see it again, Nancy. Arms reach, elbows locked, pulling out, and then float the head up. Yes, and down. Do we think that's in your brain now, that movement pattern? Good, and down. Karen, how does that feel on your low back? It's okay? Yay. Okay, good. All right. Not perfect, but not too painful. We don't want pain. Okay. From here, we're going to stay on the ground. You can move the resistance band off, come to kneeling and have a wee look. You're still going to need your 2 blankets, except one of them I'm going to take and make a long roll. Ideally, the length of your torso or the length of your spine from your tailbone to your neck. And that should cover it, right? Because we already know it covered our torso. So I'm simply going to make a nice little roll. The other one, we're simply going to fold, and depending on how far forward your head is when you're in an upright position, you'll see it when you're on your back. You're going to lie to the side, slide that arm away, and transition into that supine position. Knees bent. You're going to feel like you're going to fall off a little bit, especially if it's a relatively thick roll. If you have questions about what you're witnessing, please unmute yourself and speak now. And then again, I need a little bit more support for my head, so I'm going to fold this a little bit more to fill that gap. Probably should sit up, but that's okay. Like so. Why don't I have you on full screen? That's just silly of me. Good, bend your knees, Dina. Feet are flat. Perfect. You can do whatever you want with your knees, either keep them parallel or let the knees rest in, whatever feels most natural. So it should feel like that roll is on your spine, right? Bend your knees, Linda. Yes, thank you. Good. Now reach both fingertips up towards the ceiling. So arms, yes. Wrists over shoulders so the elbows are locked out. Yes. And then from here, I want you to feel how if you reach your fingers far, far, far up towards the ceiling, there's a delicious cherry pie on the ceiling and you're trying to grab it. Those shoulder blades are going to spread wide across your back. And now bring those shoulder blades in so that your shoulder blades start to hug the spine. So hug the spine with your shoulder blades, keeping those arms straight. Yes. And do it again. Reach up for me, Linda. Yes. Try not to shrug your shoulders towards your ears. You're just reaching up. Yeah. And then squeezing back. Palms face one another. Let's see, Jojo. Reach up, 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 up. And squeeze back. Yeah, so you're hugging that roll. Good. 2 more times for me, team. Take your time. Just again, trying to wake things up, getting those rhomboids involved in this action of protraction and retraction. One more time for good measure. And then you get to lie on your side and press yourself up into a 4-point kneeling position. If you want support for your knees or your wrist creases, transition and go ahead and do that. Moving your props out of the way always to make sure they're not a tripping hazard. And the next movement will be on all fours. And as we do the movement, I want you to have like a hitchhiker thumb. So your thumb will be reaching up towards the ceiling and coming back down. So I like to demonstrate the rotation of the arm bone in the socket. So from here, spread those fingers. If you need to, you can take your hands to the seat of a chair. Just keep your knees strongly bent so that you keep that neutral spine position and actively push the floor away so your shoulder blades are not hugging the roll that you were just lying on. So it's the reverse of the hug. Yes, push. Keep that locked out. And from this position, take one arm out to the side. Let's see a hitchhiker thumb. Thumb to the ceiling, squeeze up, 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 up. Palm will be facing the head side of your mat and lower back down. And we're gonna alternate from side to side, making sure you reset those shoulder blades so they stay broad. So you're not hugging the roll that you were just lying on. Reach out with the other arm. If you need to keep a slight bend in your arm, that's fine. Yeah. But ideally, we want a straight elbow. Unbent elbow. Good. And back down. So you want to do this slowly so that you don't shift your body weight so that the shoulders lean left to right. Yeah, nice. And lower. Good, Suzanne. Let's see, Janet. Take your time, Janet. I have a feeling I've said that a few times to you, Janet, yeah? Slow down, Janet. Couple more times, just to make sure we got that pushing action or the protraction action or the non-hugging action. I don't care what you call it. It's all the exact same thing. Good. And then your choices here for a little bit of a break can be that extended child's pose, which we know very well here. Arms are overhead or wide, or downward facing dog. Okay, if you're in down dog, we're focusing on knee soft choice, right? Some people like here to pedal out their legs in down dog if you want to stretch. If head below the heart is not available to you, then I want you to stack your palms underneath your forehead, team. Please ensure you keep that head higher or at the same level as your heart. Nice, Karen, good. Perfect, come back to your quadruped position, please. We're going to do the same movement today. So we're just starting to load, right? We're loading those muscles in our upper back to retract. A little bit of that it will come in handy when we're on our belly, but let's make it a little bit more challenging now. So when we add the legs, there is the propensity for us to dump, which means our belly will get closer to the floor. So I want you to actively think about pulling the abdominals away from the floor, or imagine that blanket, right? We want to keep the abdomen pulling away from the earth as you extend the leg. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Arm is out to the side. Yeah, we're doing it a little different. It doesn't have to be perfectly out to the side if space is an issue for you. Thumb up, Dina. Yes, good, and down. So just always put your mind's eye what's happening when the load of your arms and legs get involved. We want to have a strong contraction of the abdominals, strong exhalation. And again, you don't have to extend your leg quite so high. You can keep the leg lower than your hip. One more on each side for me, Nancy. Take your time. I love the tempo. This is my way of doing things. To be effective, sometimes slow is good. Excellent. Again, from here, downward dog, extended child's pose, choices are yours. Take a few breaths in whatever position you've chosen to rest in. And yes, for some people, down dog can feel like a rest. Not everybody. Good. If you're in down dog, lower your knees before you transition to an upright position. So we're going to come from our knees, step one leg forward, and push the earth away to come to standing. Using the chair on your mat like so. So the backrest is going to be facing your body. Hopefully all four legs are on your mat, so it's not sliding away or against a wall. You can choose. And actually, Maureen, your bar is perfect. Just use your bar, yeah. She's got a ballet bar in her house. I'm jealous. All right, team, from here, put your pinkies on the edge of the chair and your palms facing one another like so. And you're simply going to walk yourself away from the legs of that chair, unlock your knees, and push your hips away from the crown of your head. Don't worry about straightening your legs here. I want you to focus on the upper back in this pose. So in this position, reach through the fingertips and slightly draw your shoulder blades inwards towards your spine. As you exhale, think of contracting or engaging those abdominal muscles, right? So that's what we're doing. We're exhaling to push the breath out of our lungs, right? But we're focusing here on that deep abdominal contraction. Nancy's got a counterweight with her cat on the seat of the chair. I love it so much. Good. Take a few breaths, really focus on strengthening through the arms. Reach through those arms, Deb. Straighten them, straighten them, straighten them. So lift your elbows up, Deb. They're bent. Yeah, so that might mean the back of your head lifts. I know. Good. Take one more breath and bend your knees a little bit more, Dina, and stick your tush back. That's nicer. Good. Cat in a basket. And from here, bend your knees and come to stand. Have your resistance band nearby. I am so entertained by Nancy's cup. I tell you, bring your pets to class every time. Have your resistance band have candy. And again, move those props out of the way so they're no longer a hazard. And if you want a quick sip of water, take a sip of water. From mountain pose, reach through the fingertips. I want you to think about, remember, when we were lying on the elevated surface and we relax, we let the shoulders roll forward, right? But in mountain pose, I want you to actively pull the head of these arm bones back. Yeah? So you feel that little gentle engagement of the muscles with the arms straight by your side for me, Linda. The resistance band is there. We'll need it in a second. Good. And from here, I want you to inhale, reach up. Sorry, take a breath in. As you exhale, reach up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, up. Inhale, lower. Arms can be wide if you have any shoulder issues. Again, exhale to raise those arms up. Good. And now release. Now, layering on. We know that when we're standing, we're in full extension. Okay? So if we're in extension, we want to think about hips are nice and open, legs are straight, And can we get the glutes and the belly to fire without pushing our hips forward? Yes. So we're going to do something like this 3 times. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, reach those arms up, engage the belly, engage the pubis by squeezing through the glutes, right? We don't have feedback of the blanket on our pubic bone. So instead I'm saying engage your glutes. Inhale to lower. Exhale, push your feet into the ground. Engage all those mechanics we've been working thus far. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale, lower. One more time. Full extension in your hips without pushing your hips beyond your body, yes? And dumping into the low back. And release. So what I'm saying is this will happen if we don't engage all these elements. Oftentimes in Salabhasana, we'll come into this position and our low back will go ouch. Yes, release your hands, grab your resistance band. Holding the band outside shoulder width apart, right? So generous amount. Palms will face back. Yeah. And we'll do the same thing here. So take a big breath in. Remember, shoulders down and slightly back. Hips are nice and open. Inhale here. Exhale, pull up. Again, pull outwards into the band. And inhale to lower. Got it. Big breath in. Exhale. Pull out. Inhale to lower. Last time, exhale. Hold the arms up overhead. As you exhale this time, we're going to pull that band wide across our chest, elbows in towards our ribs. Inhale to reach. Exhale, watch my elbows come in towards my wrist. So I'm making that same W position. I'm hugging my armpits close to my body. Yes. Inhale up. 2 more times. Exhale, pull. And reach. Last time, exhale. Good. And reach up, just adding a little extra resistance. Lower that band, move it off to the side. Your chair needs to be slightly behind you and or in front of you, but not next to you for the next sequence. Again, from Tadasana Mountain Pose, a lot more information in our upper body, but again, we need the legs and the abdomen to be active throughout. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, reach the arms up into Urdhva Hastasana. Good. As you exhale now, take your hands into prayer. Strip your right leg back into a high lunge. Good. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, release your arms down by your side. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, step back with your left butt. So remember, up onto your toe mounds. Both knees are soft. Good. Step back together. Release your arms by your side. Good. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, step back. Inhale, come together. This time, step out with your right leg. Feet are outside of your hips, at least 3 feet apart. You're going to come up onto the heel of your right foot and pivot your right toes away from your body. Good. Bend through that right knee. And let's just enjoy a beautiful, powerful yoga posture called Warrior 2. Almost drew a blank there after 20 years of practicing. Lift your head and gaze over towards your right fingertips and take 3 breaths here. Think about pushing into your back leg. Keeping the glutes turned on that back leg, that left leg. One more breath here. And on your exhale, bring your hands to your heart, straighten your front leg, come up onto your right heel and pivot your feet so that they're parallel as you step your feet together. Good. Release your arms down by your side. Perfect. Same thing on the other side. Inhale, reach up. Feel those upper back muscles engaged here. As you exhale, palms together, step back with your opposite leg. Good. Back knee is bent. Step together. Good. Step your left leg out rather. Pivot and turn on the heel of your left leg and bend through that front knee. Good. So remember, try not to lean forward or back. We're staying nice and tall in the posture and extend through the fingertips. Good. Look over your left fingertips. Take 2 more breaths. Looks good. Relax your shoulders. Feel how your upper back is holding those arms out. Good. Straighten through that left leg. Release your arms. Pivot on your left heel and step your feet together. Beautiful. Grab that resistance band. One more time before we come back to the ground. Palms face away from the body. Gentle pull out here. Extend through the hips. So when I say extend, it simply means there's no flexion. There's no bend. Yes? Extend through the hips by engaging your glutes. Extend through the back of the knee. Good. Now take a big breath in. As you exhale, pull back, tummy in. Nothing changes in your spine. The crown of the head stays lifting up. Reach as far back as you can. And slowly return the band to your seat. Good. 2 more times for me. Feel those shoulder blades roll back. Elbows straight. Good. Turn to your side for me, please. Tummy is in. Good. And lower. Good. And 1 more time. Start with the shoulders. Then the arms start to reach, but contract through the abdomen. Keep a nice gentle hug in through the tummy. And exhale, release. Good. Remove the band out of the way. Move the chair unless you need it to transition to the floor. And once again, we're going to need our blankets for the floor. Before we come onto our tummy, we are going to be on 4 points, so just a warning. Just have them nearby, yeah? 4-point meal. Perfect. And I'm going to say this, and this way, well, I want to say I'm not going to say it again, but that would be a lie. When you're putting the weight of your body on your hands, we never really want the shoulder blades to squeeze and hug that imaginary roll we've lied on, right? Then I'm not using my shoulders. I'm not using my back muscles. I'm putting all the weight on my arms, and it feels kind of yucky. You're welcome to try it. No harm's going to come of it, but it certainly doesn't feel strong, right? If someone came by you and pushed you and tried to knock you over from a position with your shoulder blades squeezing back in this and your elbows bent, you would topple over, guaranteed. In lieu of that, let's be strong. Spread our hands. Elbows lock by pushing our arms strongly into the ground. And then from here, just start to rock back and forth. So the hips are going to go back towards your heels. And your shoulders are going to roll forward. Back and forth. If it feels nice to keep your hands a little bit wider, I feel it feels a little bit more comfortable for what's to come. So maybe your hands can be slightly wider than shoulder width, just rocking back and forth. Now getting a little bit braver. We've done this standing before. Imagine we're peering over the edge of our mat. So the arms start off straight, and I'm just going to lean forward just a little bit more within our boundaries, right? No pain in the wrists are needed here, right? So if your boundary is like a centimeter forward, that's fine too. Or maybe you're on your fist today. Yeah, that's a nice option for those, or elevating your wrist creases. We'll take that flexion of the wrist or extension of the wrist out. And then when you're feeling super brave, you're gonna go, oh, but I wanna bend my elbows a little bit as I lean forward, and I'm gonna come back. As you bend your elbows, think of squeezing the roll that you were lying on at the beginning. So come forward a little bit, squeeze the shoulder blades together, bend the elbows, come down and come up. So you're playing with a chaturanga. Playing with. That's not our focus today, but I thought, why not give it a little bit of try, because it's certainly going to wake up those upper back muscles, no doubt. Yes. Yes. Is the tummy doing anything? Can you engage your glutes the further forward you lean? Nice, Karen. Really good, Janet. Yeah, don't be afraid. Yes, be careful of that shoulder, Miss Susan, please. All right. That was just for a little bit of fun. So sit back and just give your wrists, or sit in any way, kneel in any way, give your wrists a little bit of a shake, gentle. Feels really nice. And then we're going to transition once again with the blanket. And then there will be the chance for those who want to try Salabhasana or Locust Pose without the blanket. Not necessary, but you know, you wanna. I like giving options. You know me, I'm the option lady. So once again, those blankets, I just feel like I'm just gonna sit here and watch y'all. Okay. We're gonna make sure that blanket covers our torso, right? There will also be options. I recognize there are people in this program that have chronic undiagnosed low back pain. There are more than one, there are more than 3. So I'm going to suggest to you, maybe don't involve the legs. Not today. There's nothing you need to prove to me. And let's face it, yoga is an aesthetic practice, right? If we want to achieve the postures, it's for aesthetic purposes. And I'm not too keen about that. I want it to be something that's functional for you. And if any of the postures cause you pain, then it's not functional anymore. Okay, but strong back muscles are very functional, and that's what we're focusing on today. So from this position, once again, we're going to let the pelvis rest. We're going to let the forehead rest. Wiggle our hips and realize if we need a little bit more help in terms of elevating the surface that we're under. Take another breath or two here, starting to recall the initial things we did at the beginning of the class in terms of your abdomen, in terms of your tummy, and in terms of the retraction or the squeezing of the roll in this position, right? We did it on our back, but you'll see it here a little bit more. Even if you want, I'll give you another maybe 15 seconds if you want to start lifting your head and going, oh wait, what was I supposed to do again? Head, tummy, pubis, and release. Good. And now we're going to add on by straightening our arms alongside of our body. I'm going to demonstrate a couple, then I'd like to come have a look. You're going to start with your legs relaxed. They're not going to be involved in this. And we're going to start as follows. The back of my hands are just resting. My shoulders are rolling forward. I'm going to start with my arms lifting, rolling my head of the arm bones up and back. So now my palms are facing down, but they're on the approach to facing away from my body with my thumb up. Okay, I'll show that again. Relaxing, sloping, arms active, reaching through my fingers, upper back muscles strong. And then my head is going to come up. But again, not higher than necessary, because the moment I just come on up and look forward, I could feel it right away in my mid to low back. And that's not what I want. So we're going to do this a few times. We're going to start with the arms rotating outwards, squeezing the shoulder blades, head comes up, neck in line with the spine, Head goes down, arms go down. So if you would do me the honor of doing the thing. Yeah, palms away from your body. Nice. So arms first, and then the head. Gorgeous, Linda. Let's see it, Jojo. Arms. Yeah. Spin your palms outwards now, Jojo. So you're, yes, that feels much better, doesn't it? Good. Don't forget the tummy. Don't forget the pubic bone. And first of all, like, don't forget about your breathing. When I said yoga is about aesthetics, well, if you just take that out of context, that sounds really bad. It's about our connection to our breath and our body. Yeah. Good. So for those who are going, oh, as I get older, my shoulders are rounding, this posture is a perfect complement, a counter movement of the forward flexion. Good. And rest, sit back in an extended child or a dog, or you can just sit and watch me. I know it's going to be hard to see, but I will verbally explain to you what we're going to do next. Take a big breath in. And again, we know that our arms and legs are the load to this exercise. So if I just had to lift my head, yes, that's one load. But the minute I start adding my arms and my legs, if I can't handle that load, it goes into the weakest link. Right? The weakest link is our spine because the rib cage isn't attached and it's super mobile. Right? It lets you do all those fancy dance moves. Here we go. We're going to take a big breath in. As I exhale, I'm going to put all those pieces together. Head, tummy, pubic bone, arms are going to come up. This feels really good for me. And now I'm going to reach through one leg, reaching through the toes. I want you to squeeze the muscles on that leg, like you're trying to reach that leg away from your body so that this is as tight as can be, right? It feels like one big block. And then lower back down if there was no pain and it felt good. Again, arms, head, chest, core, all the things. Other leg is going to come up. And come back down. And try that a few times, alternating legs with the upper body portion of this. Knowing it's making it a little bit more difficult in the load department, in the resistance department. And again, does it cause pain? I don't know. I'm not in your body. Right? If it does, why would you continue doing that variation? We just stop. And we go back to the basics of the upper back, which is the aim of this. Janet, please don't lift your leg quite as high. So we're focusing more on reaching that leg to the opposite wall and less about the height. Good. Final one. And then I'm going to give people, because again, there are people here that are like, that was pretty easy. I did that well. That wouldn't be me, but it might be you. Okay. So we're going to try perhaps arms, tummy, pubis, head, maybe both legs lift. Please don't bring your legs together in this class at this time. And lower. Start with the upper body, making sure that if I'm coming up with my legs, if I was there, I would be looking for wrinkles in the back of your shirt. So if in fact there becomes a big gaping wrinkle hole in the back of your shirt, I would say maybe you're dumping into your low back. So think about reaching, like you're trying to get an extra inch out of your body in length. And go. Yeah, how does it feel? We don't know until we try sometimes. Come back down for me, Deb. I want to watch that again. Deb's got the perfect color shirt. I can see all the things. Yes. Very good. So again, you are coming up into extension, right? And the extension happens by contracting the muscles in the back of your body. And that includes back muscles, glute muscles, and if you're lifting your legs, the leg muscles as well. Beautiful, Jojo. Nice job, team. Push yourself back into extended child's or down dog. And play around with some movements here, rotating your body around your knees and your wrist, making circles. Letting that all go. Nice job. Again, slow and steady wins the race. Sometimes. But this one is really important that we move mindfully into this final posture, right? If you have had enough and you're done, I'm going to give you 1 more minute to try one variation on your belly, sans the blankets. Right? And it's simply all of the same things. But again, notice that you're already in a bit of extension force here on your belly. You might start to feel that pressure already. If you do, I'm going to say, please don't do this, right? So if you're lying on your belly and you're already starting to feel that pressure across the lowest part of your back, this is not a way to end our class. If you are done, you're just going to lie on your back and enjoy hugging your knees deliciously into your chest, and just maybe a little gentle rock side to side. So take your time, enjoy. Good. And if you're doing the prone variation with nothing, arms, head, belly, pubis, then the legs. Nice. So good, team. And then come back down. So you don't have to hold it for any prolonged period of time. This is not an Iyengar yoga class. We won't be holding postures for 5 minutes. When you're done, come onto your back, please, and please hug your knees into your chest. If you're done or you find another way of resting your body, please do that. So this is simply a really nice way to release the low back. And then with your feet flat on the floor, reach both arms up towards the ceiling. I'll show from this angle. And then bend your elbows and grab a hold of your wrists, or rather your elbows with your hands. And simply just rock your arms left to right. Nice and easy, gentle, gentle, right? You're not pulling or tugging. And then once you're done that, it's almost like your elbows are gonna paint a circle in the ceiling. And then change the direction of those circles, still holding onto your elbows. And then when you're ready, find your final resting position. Since you have so many blankets, it's sometimes nice to use one of them as a bolster for the backs of your thighs. If that again feels like a strong pull on the low back, then you're going to bend your knees and rest your arms by your side. I'm going to find a seated position. So I want you to think here once again, returning back to your breathing. Except now you may notice we're just trying to calm our body's nervous system here. So see if you can elongate that inhale and exhale without a force, without exaggerating, just nice deep inhales and exhales through your nose. Your mind at this point in your practice may be trying to pull you into an active thinking position. We call it a posture, an active thinking posture. And I ask you here, can you just return back to the ease and the calm of your nice, natural, soothing breath? And since these classes occur at the beginning of the week, you're welcome to use this as an opportunity to set an intention for yourself and how you want to face the week. Do you need a little extra courage? Do you need some strength, some clarity, some heart, some compassion? Do you want to move quickly through this week, or do you want to move slowly through this week, embracing each moment as they come, just like a breath? The choices are limitless on how you will greet the days ahead of you. So take this moment here to set that intention. Much like we use a filter in our furnace to clean the air, imagine your intention, whatever that is, as a filter. So every breath you take filters through that intention. Every movement, maybe even spoken words, actions, moving through your filter to help guide you through your week. And then for those of you who are lucky enough to be able to stay here for a few extra moments, I really encourage you to. Extra time resting and being still very rarely happens, so please enjoy it if you can. Otherwise, start to bring gentle movement back into your body, greeting yourself with gratitude, with love, transitioning slowly to an upright position. And when you're ready, open your eyes, take your time, no rush. Thank you so much, team, for being here today. I appreciate your efforts. I see how hard you work. And congratulations for another class and another opportunity to move your body. It is a gift. And in fact, I'll add one thing that someone said to me the other day. They said, aging sucks. And I'm like, really? Because I love it. I really, really do. I think this is a gift, right? Not everybody gets to do this, and it's not perfect. And I know we have our aches and pains and struggles, but it is a gift. Please don't forget that, team. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Diana.
Thank you so much, team.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
See you
Bye.
Wednesday.
I most certainly will. Take care, everybody. The sun's out here. Get outside. Move your body. Bye, Jojo. See you, Dina.
Thank you, Diana.
Bye, Dina. My pleasure, Susan. Bye, Nancy.
Thunder showers here now.
Oh, no. Well, you know what? It's probably not bad after last year, right? What y'all went through with the fire. So rain, rain, rain.
Bye, Diana.
Bye, everybody. See you, Linda. Bye.